Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and today I'm talking about Ghiaxus. Ghiaxus from Transformers Legacy, the character from the Transformers Generation 2 comic book who's never really gotten a unique mold before. This is kind of a cool thing and kind of a big deal. So first of all, we do have the packaging here. It's got the Legacy artwork, which looks really cool. I love the vaporwave style of the Legacy packaging. There's no plastic here. You just see a guy that's normally in there, but and you can touch him if you're in the store. You can touch them. They can't stop you. So yeah, there's the Decepticon version of the Legacy artwork on the side here, and wait, here we'll pull it back so you can see Megatron's noggin there. That's important that you see Megatron's noggin, and you've got the Legacy logo on top, and you've got Jhiaxus here and Jhiaxus up here. This is a closer version of Jhiaxus down here. But hey, it's a really nice illustration, so don't you want to see the detail? I do. And then, of course, we've got the product shots up here showing Jhiaxus in both of his modes, with his robot stuff here and his spaceship stuff here, and then lots of legal mumbo jumbo and more mumbo jumbo down here. And so that is the packaging. So here is Jhiaxus. And Jhiaxus, right off the bat, this figure looks great. He is actually really nicely proportioned, and if anything, I would say that the proportions are better than he appeared in the Transformers Generation 2 comic book. He always looked kind of thick and stocky, and they've managed to keep his kind of burly features, except give him some more leg so that he also has a very commanding stature, which is cool. So yeah, the colors are nice. You can also have the little thing out, so you open this up, and you kind of have to play with stuff. So right here, which is the point, right? You have to play with them. So you have the little dongle in there, and you can flip it up, and you can close this and maybe close it. There we go. We can close it and close that, and then we've got the little extra piece which can also go on the end of the gun like it was. And now you have his little scanner thingy, whatever the scanner thingy was that was on the side of his head in a lot of the panels in the comic. So you can have that. He can have like little wing things on his legs, so he's doing his best impression of Namor. And then, of course, we've got posability and articulation and weapons. So, yeah, I had the weapons pegged in on the back. It comes with this red rifle, which is very cool. It looks good. Let me zoom in on that. So, yeah, you look at that, and there we go. So, yeah, the detail on the rifle is nice. You know, it's nothing super fancy, but it's a big husky looking rifle, and that's cool. And then you also have this little rifle which has a 5mm compatible hole on one side and a peg on the other, which is nice for putting the rifles together, being able to do one of those. And then you have them right up against each other, and you can see that it's cast out of a translucent smoked plastic, but then it's painted with silver. It looks very nice. It looks very nice. It's very thin, you know, just very, very slender, kind of oddly slender, but you know, whatever. And then of course it can peg onto the back of the figure just like that. If my camera will focus in on that. I know camera, I'm asking a lot, but there you go. So it pegs in on the back like that. Oh, of course, you can also have him hold both guns in one hand and do something like that, or you can take this off and put it in both hands, and then he's dual wielding, and dual wielding is always cool. So yeah, that's raise this up so that you can see him looking all intimidating and stuff. And I think that even though this is like more accurate to the comic, I think I prefer it down. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to open this up and then open that up and then pull off the little thingy. There's the little thingy, and then we'll go back up here and we'll just fold this in there like that, and then fold the nose back in and close the chest and do that. And then you can also put this here, and you know what, if you just leave it back there, it's fine. It actually looks really good there. So yeah, that's fine also. In terms of articulation, Jhiaxus it has really nice articulation. And yeah, I feel like we're almost getting a little spoiled. You know, back in my day, Transformers, you'd be lucky if you had a shoulder joint and the head moved. That was a lot back in the 1980s. But now you get full posability. It's got to be something. And he wants to look away while I do that impression. So yeah, let's take the guns out of his hands and take a look. We've got head on a ball joint, and so he can look around, he can look up, he can look down. One thing that I've noticed with the head is that it's a little bit loosey-goosey. You know, you can see how easily it moves around, and on more than one occasion I transformed him into vehicle mode, and then when I turned him back into a robot, the head was dislodged from the socket, and that's something that of course right now, since I'm trying to do it, it doesn't want to do it, but it gets very, very loosey-goosey. Okay, so there we go. If you look inside there, yeah, I know, I just decapitated Ghiaxus. And so, but nonetheless, let's just look inside there for a moment. This head, it's a little bit weird. If I can get the camera to focus in on that, it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to focus that close. Let's pull back. There we go. There we go. Okay, so if you look in here, this head, unlike a lot of Transformers heads, this one is, maybe it's just friction fit together or glued together, but there's no screw in the back of the head. And it seems like the forward portion has a lot of hollowness in the front, right where it should be engaging that ball joint. And because there's a lot of hollowness there, it seems like there's nothing that really keeps it from coming disjointed when, you know, especially if something pushes on it in just the right way. So that is something that I've noticed that is a little bit of a criticism, because, you know, I don't like it when his head is floppy, and I certainly don't like it when his head becomes disjointed. It's easy to put back on. It's not like it doesn't destroy the toy or anything, but it is something that's noteworthy, at least on the one that I got. You know, if you got yours and the head is tight and doesn't do bad things, then cool. Yours is a little bit better in that regard than mine is. But yeah, there is that. Nonetheless, he's got a very posable head, particularly when you don't have that thing next to it. He's got arms that are very nicely jointed. You know, he's got a shoulder joint that goes up and down, and he essentially has almost a 360 rotation, except that the wing gets in the way. You could, since these wings are on this little connector piece here, this linkage piece, then you could kind of get those out of the way and actually get his arm to go around 360 degrees. But it is awkward, and since this is one of the rare Transformers toys where the wings do not angle backwards at all, they just, you know, they're just in a straight line, then it does interfere with the arm motion just a little bit. Still, how often do you need the character to reach straight behind their back? This is still very, very good, and it seems good. The elbow is really nice. He's got a bicep rotation. He's got a wrist that moves, and his wrist twist, and he has opening and closing hands, and I really like that. This is something that I'd like to see more of in the Transformers line, since they are giving us more articulation these days in more subtle ways, having the ankle tilt and things like this, then it allows you to pose your characters in a way where they don't always just have a clenched fist that can either punch or hold a gun, but is never doing anything else. And I see that the fingers are curled, but an open hand is still more expressive than just, fist with hole in it. So I really like this, and I'm glad that they've been doing it on a lot of characters. I was sad that Laser Optimus Prime did not have opening hands where his predecessors did, but yeah. He's also got waist rotation, which is very nice. He's got very well articulated hips. He can do the splits, and he can kick. He can kick forward. He can kick back a little bit, but the forward is what's important. He's got a knee joint. He's also got thigh rotation. You got thigh rotation, and then of course he's got an articulated ankle that he can tip his toe forward. He can tip his toe back, and he can pivot his foot this way. So it makes for a figure that can really get into all sorts of dynamic poses and just look like he is so frustrated by the throwback Generation 1 Transformers that need to be eliminated and allowed to be extinct the way that Primus intended. And so, then we can put this right, or put this here and put that on his back, and do that. He also has other 5mm sockets for weaponizers and for weapons. So if you wanted to, you could do things like this, and you can do things like that, and so there's stuff there's ones on his legs. So there's all sorts of things that you can do. If you wanted to, you can extend the wings and give him more wingy things, and these ones actually can angle back a little bit, so you could taper them back if you wanted to. It is your toy, and enjoy it in whatever way you see fit. Now on to the transformation. So let's take the weapons off, and for now I'll fold the wings back the way that they are intended and get him into a basic static pose. So there we go. So this is Jhiaxus, and let's go ahead and start doing stuff. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to split the legs up, and I am going to pull out the tailpiece, which is just like that, and there's another one on the other side just like that. He's got a little tab in that goes into that actually doesn't tab in anywhere there, but we're going to need it in just a bit. We're going to take this linkage piece right here, and we're going to go back like that. And then we are also going to tip the toe, and now that little tab that I was telling you about is going to go right into the end of the toe like that. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. We will go like this, point the toe, and then we've got that whole front of the leg on the linkage piece here. You see how that goes, and then it's going to tab in right there, and then we can take these, put them together. We'll do a waist swivel and do that, and that makes the back of the ship. And then you know what, might as well just kind of do that because this gets a little bit janky right here, but it does work. So you have the back panel here, and then you have these linkage pieces that the wings are on. So you extend those out, and we might as well extend out the wings. So we are extending those out. Those are going to come back this way, and then this stuff is going to kind of go like this. And it's going to do a thing. Wait here. And there. So this center piece goes over the little yellow flanges that stick out from his knees. And then the kneecaps go over the back here. And that's what's a little bit, you know, you got to get it right. And the upside of that, even though it takes a little finessing, is that it really makes for a nice connection to the back of the ship. I mean, this is nice and straight. It doesn't move. It is a really nice connection. So as janky as it is to try and do, it works tremendously well. So here's the other thing. Now in the instructions, it says to fold in the little foot thingies, and you can certainly do that if you are one to follow instructions. There's a little rectangular slot here and little hooks on the sides of the legs here, so you hook the wing into there, and that positions it the way that it's supposed to be. And then we can do the same thing over on this side, and you can do that. But honestly, he's got wings. Leave the wings out. What's wrong with having some little wing things there? Extra wings are good. So I do that. Now, as you've seen me do like 4 times already, you can open up the back panel. You can also open up the chest. You're going to fold out the nose cone and snap it in this way. And then you have this. Now, here's the thing. When you transform him, his head is looking up through the smoked acrylic. And that's, you know, like if you don't like seeing any robot face, which, you know, I don't prefer seeing robot face in the vehicle modes. You know, when it's encapsulated inside a translucent cockpit, it doesn't bother me as much. But what you can do is you can spin this around and do that. Now, here's the thing. Every time that I've done that, when I go back, the head is disjointed. So something about doing it that way seems to put a little bit of pressure on him in ways that kind of pops the head off of the ball joint. So since that keeps happening, I'm just going to suck it up and leave him looking out through the glass and do that, and then snap that there, and it did make a satisfying little click. And then we have the arms here, and this is another thing that's really nice about this design. No gaps in the arms. Look, they've got a little door panel here, and that closes, and they've got a little door panel here, and that closes. And that's really nice because it makes the arms look nice and solid when he's in robot mode. We've all seen lots of Transformers, especially at the lower price points, that have lots of hollow places inside the arms and legs, and then we end up paying almost as much as we did for the Transformer to buy gap-filling pieces that third-party manufacturers have made to solve those problems. Now, these things will just, you see how these side panels just go in together like this? And you see this tab here and this tab here, well, those are going to tab into these slots in the legs right there. So you rotate that around that way, you rotate that, and then the shoulders are going to lock together like that. And now he is in his spaceship mode. Of course, we still have weapons. What I tend to do with the weapons is I stick them together. I was watching an MGO review, and he talks about how inelegant the placement for the weapons is, and he is very right. There's not a lot of good places. Like, you can put these together and do that, and then you've got kind of a gun here and sort of a gun there, and even though it's facing back, you've got the little dongle up here, and that makes it look really good. And I think that that's probably my favorite way to do it. Another thing that you could do is you could take this thing, you know, the little gun, and you could put it like back here. Since it is very thin, you could just stick it on there, and it's not too obtrusive, and that's not bad. But yeah, he's definitely right that that the weapons storage on here in vehicle mode is just not very well thought out. Of course, the way that they show you on the instructions is to stick the gun there, which if you like that, then hey, you go for it. It is your toy. I'm not going to criticize you if you like that, but I freaking hate it. You know, you see this all the time with Transformers toys where they'll put a little hole at the very tip of a jet mode or something, and then have this gun just sticking out the front like a tusk. And it just doesn't do it for me. Just doesn't do it for me at all. But you know, that's not bad. Another thing that I have done with this guy is and this is dumb. Okay, I'm gonna warn you ahead. This is dumb. But look, he's a biplane. It's a Cybertronian biplane. Huh? Look, it's biplane mode. Anyway, yeah, you don't have to ever do that. I now that I've done it, nobody else will ever have to do it again. But there we go. So I like the vehicle mode. I like the detailing. I like the colors. I especially like the sculpt in here. What really bothers me, okay, I'm going to tell you, this really bothers me, is this. Look, it's just hollow. It's all hollow. There's nothing under here. And then when you look here, you've got the arms that are very, very boxy. These are massive shoulders, and there's just no transition from here to there. It really feels like there's just something missing here. Like there is supposed to be something that clicked in here or something, but I'm not digging all of this. You know, and I hate to say it because I really like this toy. Okay, don't get me wrong. I realize that I'm kind of throwing shade here, but I really like this toy overall. But I got to do something about this. You know, maybe some kind of add-on piece that becomes a weapon or something. I don't know. I don't think that there's anything that I can do that would just integrate seamlessly into the transform. But something's got to be done here. If you are affiliated with any of the third-party companies that make upgrades for these toys, then please give me something. I'll buy it. I'll pay too much for it. Just give me something. The other thing is, of course, you know, that's a lot of box on the underside, and it doesn't really look like anything in particularly. It's just a box. It's just a box. And the last thing that I'm going to say, and this goes along with sort of what Emgo was saying, is that like a hole here in the shoulder, a hole here on the side, you know, maybe a socket underneath the wing or something like that. Other options that allowed you to more in a more satisfying way integrate these weapons. I mean, even this, like, because of where the wing is located, you can't even really put the gun on the side here because the wing is in the way. I mean, I guess we could do something like this. yeah, you could do that. That doesn't look great. So you could do that. But yeah, the socket locations for the weapon bits, just not as nice as I would have hoped. And it's fine. I mean, you know, I am kind of nitpicking a little bit, but and I do it with a certain amount of reverence, because overall I do really like this toy. I do like what they've done here. I especially like the robot mode and his proportions, his stance. I mean, he's a cool figure, and I'm glad that they finally gave Jhiaxus the treatment that he deserves as a really cool villain in kind of I'm going to say an underrated comic book. So yeah, Jhiaxus is good. I still recommend him, but there are a few things like, you know, hollowness here, lack of really well thought out weapons placement in vehicle mode, and some robot arm right there. Just you know, big it's still fine. It's cool. It is cool. And I do like it. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's hard. Sometimes we criticize the ones we love in order to make them better. And Jhiaxus, I have criticisms, but it's only because I love you and I want you to be better. Yeah, that's really what it's about. So, with all that being said, that's my review. If you like this review, then please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so that you know when we're doing more Short Circuits videos like this one, which Short Circuits are just our short form single topic videos that we release periodically throughout the week. Also, you will know when we're doing our live streams, which happen typically every Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern United States time. So that's it. Also, if you are in a position to help the channel grow, then consider joining our Patreon. We have many different levels with different rewards as our way of saying thank you so much to our patrons. We really do appreciate the help. And with that being said, we have our very special guest here to thank our patrons. It is the Chaos Bringer himself. It is Unicron.
Thank you, patrons, our ultimate retro heroes. Thank you, Fetchbeer, Rob S., Matt White, Storehound, Setsune Wave, Dawn, Hope and Michael D., and Colleen. Thank you so much. Now, if it would not be too much trouble, may I please eat Jupiter? It's a really big planet. I think I could be satisfied if I would be allowed to eat Jupiter for, like, I don't know, a month or two. It's mostly gas, but I'm okay with that. It's very tasty. I might have tasted a little bit. Not much. Nothing that you would miss.
Thank you for that, Unicron. Whatever that was. So, yeah, that's it. Jhiaxus from Legacy Transformers Legacy Jhiaxus from the Transformers Generation 2 universe that never got a real proper toy. I mean, there have been recolors and stuff that were done and called Jhiaxus, but this is the first one that was like a dedicated mold for Jhiaxus, and that's really cool. So yeah, I like him, and if you get him, I hope that you like him too, because he is cool. So yeah, this is Jhiaxus, and I'm Clay, and we're both, Jhiaxus and I, are telling you to keep it Retrobot. Yeah, that is Jhiaxus. And gosh, I just really wish that there were. I mean, that cockpit is so hollow. Why is it hollow underneath? It bugs me. It bugs me. I know I have problems, and you know, I do that biplane thing, and I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't. Oh, I'm doing it again. You can't see it, but I just turned him into a biplane. Oh, it's cool. He's a Cybertronian biplane. Yeah, I could. Yeah, that's pretty cool.